we got to get the data into Blue Sky. So let's talk about how we get the data in there. One of the simplest ways, if you're doing an interim and they've got teeth, and you're literally, I'm going to just pull their teeth and give them an interim, one of the simplest ways to do is literally just take iTero scans, get as much vestibule as you can, but knowing that you can't get that much, right, within iTero, but get as much as you can, and then just set your denture to that, the limit of your denture to as deep in the vestibule as you can scan, and then you're going to do a reline impression anyway. So literally you could do dentures with literally just iTero scans, because that's going to give you the bite, they're going to have teeth, and then you're going to digitally extract the teeth, and then you can build a denture on that. It's going to be a little shy of the vestibule, but you could capture that with your wash of reline material, heavy, soft, or hard or soft material, whatever you want to do. So if you want to capture the vestibule, and that's what I'm going to show you, how do you take a vestibule type impression and get that into the software and actually use that so you can actually build a denture to that vestibule, then you would want to take traditional impressions, because you can't capture true vestibule with an intraoral scanner. You have to capture it with PVS, and then you have to digitize that with a scanner. You're going to get your photos and facial scans, all those records like we did this morning, so you're going to digitize the patient. If you guys just have an IO scanner, pour it up in QuickStone, and then you can scan the stone with your iTero scanner. So have you guys done any scans of stone yet? It works fine. It's not hard to do. The intraoral scanners do fine on stone. They struggle with scanning impressions with teeth in it, like trying to scan, like you can't really scan with if there's deep teeth spaces, you can't really scan with an IO scanner and scan the impression. You really got to pour it up and then scan the stone model. So you pour up one model, and then you can scan that with your intraoral scanner. If you have a desktop scanner, you can skip the model pouring and scan the impressions in the desktop scanner. So it really is saving you one step of taking your impression back to the lab and putting stone in it and pouring it and then making a physical model. Not a huge deal either way. So those are kind of the two different workflows on how to get that data into Blue Sky. Then we're gonna merge all the data, and then we're gonna digitally extract the teeth off of the models. So what's cool is you mounted your models digitally, and then you go cut the teeth off, and now you've got your master cast in there that's set at that vertical. You've just digitally cut them off. So now you just get to plug in teeth in the space. Any questions about getting the data in there? Does everyone have an idea of how they might do this, like in their own practice? Because nobody has a desktop scanner yet, right?
But we just got to dial in the ray scan and see what it can do.
Yeah.
We just haven't really messed with that enough, right? We should all just go back and play with them and see, and then just feedback if we pull it off or calibrate or whatever, just talk to each other so we know how to do it.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, if you guys can get that thing going with your cone beam to scan your impressions.
It sounds like it can for everything that I know that they talk to them about. It might not get, it said it's not good for like detailed crown and bridge stuff, but it's great. It should be able to do that.
Should be great for that. That would be perfect if you guys could just do that, and then you could skip pouring any models. Cool. All right, any questions about that so far? So really the same thing. That first workflow is somebody that has teeth in there, and that when they come in with existing dentures, you're going to do something pretty similar, but you're just going to take wash impressions with their existing dentures and a bite, and you're going to capture everything the same as far as your photos and facial scans. But these are the two workflows that you'd have to do with this method. If they have it, and this is assuming that you guys can't ray scan the dentures, you would have to take their denture that you just took a wash impression of, and you have to pour it up in stone and give like a nice landing area, like a nice base on your impression or your stone. And then you'd take your iTero scan and you would scan the denture, making sure to capture some landmarks on the stone, the border of the stone. and then take the denture off, scan the master cast with those same landmarks, because those are going to be common points. Does that make sense, everyone? You wash impression someone's denture, you pour up a stone model, let it set up, make sure you have a good landing area with some sort of obvious landmarks that are going to show up in both the scan of the denture on the model and the model itself. Does everyone?
Why do you have to do that?
So that when you bring both of those models into Blue Sky, you have your master cast and their denture, you can stitch them. And you can stitch them via points with those common points on the base, because you scan their denture on the stone model. And now there's common points. Does that make sense?
You should just be able to take an overextended VPS, and you have some of that overextension into the vestibule that will give you little like defects and stuff. I'm assuming it'll work on the ray scan once we get it, but we should be able to scan that impression and click on those little points that have overflowed into the vestibule and stitch that somehow.
Well, you won't even need to do that because
the bite already.
yeah, if you can scan and ray scan, you don't have to pour up anything. You literally will just import that in, and you'll have the master impression and your denture teeth will be the same scan. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And then you have the bite from the antero.
Yeah. And then the bite, like your posing and your bite registration could be just from your itero in the mouth. That makes sense?
On the dentureless version?
With dentures.
Yeah.
So they come in upper and lower dentures, they go,
Yeah, I get it.
I want new ones. Scan their itero in the mouth with their dentures,
Yeah.
and then wash the dentures and scan them in the ray scan. Now you have everything. You have your posing, your bite, and your washed existing denture. Kind of hard to visualize probably without doing it, but once you guys start collecting this data, you'll figure out, oh yeah, okay, I need this, this, and that, and it's not that much.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You talked about you're not capturing a lot of the vestibule. When you use the word wash, are you doing heavy body border movements? You're adding to the border potentially, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you're doing more of a light wash internally after that?
There's a lot of
That's
different.
the way I was talking.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of different schools of thought on doing it. 2-step, 1-step. I can tell you how I've done it, and I'm not a prosthodontist, so I can't say that this is the best way. But I've generally just taken a denture. I've run a bead of heavy body around the rim and let it kind of start to firm up a little bit, and I don't rush it, and I just kind of let it get a little bit hard, and I take light body and I fill in the middle, and then I just take an impression with all the border movements all in one go. But if you want a 2-step and border mold, cool, yeah. I just never really got that.